play back then. So this is going to be quite a struggle for them. They're fighting a team that was dominating, got a great restructure, almost the same. Actually, they are in the same page because both of them got a restructure, but this is the difference from them because Dominator has been doing really great.
Yeah, but they actually picked off Tufts, who was previously from Bigatron, CC as well. I mean, he came from the KPL undefeated United Gamer squad. These are two players that have been in the Honor of Kings esports scene. The other side, Rattel and Namu, they came from outside. So this is a bit of an adjustment, not only in terms of game, but now you're playing with some of these players where you haven't really had the most amount of reps in. So the coordination is a little off at this point.
Yeah, and as we talk about NONGSHIM REDFORCE, especially with those players on their hands, they might even have problems when it comes to the big pool, with the hero pool that they have. So that could be quite a struggle here. But banning Musashi together with the Luna here from NONGSHIM REDFORCE just screams a lot of things to me because they might be looking to go for a Jing, maybe, in this game.
I mean, to set things up to just go with early tempo. I mean, we're going to see exactly how strong NONGSHIM REDFORCE want to go. I mean, they have the first pick on being on that blue side, so it looks like they're going to go with the Haya. This is also a hero that's really taken off. Let Illusion kind of, you know, pilot this hero. He hasn't had the most amount of success with it thus far, but it seems also the team has been struggling as well.
Yeah, and I think they do know on the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE that Dominator doesn't prefer picking the pay, which is the reason why they just let it happen, that Dominator has an opportunity to pick up the pay, but NONGSHIM REDFORCE could take it for their side in this game because I do know Haku really loves picking a lot of assassins too.
Yeah, definitely likes the assassin style. He also likes, I mean, he does a great Agudo or an Ogren style. He definitely has the fundamentals to play whatever sort of junglers really required. But it looks like they're going to go with a stock standard. I mean, the Wild Rider you talked about is the success of that pick here. It looks like they're going to go with that as well as the Lianpo.
Yeah, especially with the long ban from their side though, because it's also one of the favorites of Siri. That is going to be a chance for them to ban the Magistrate on the side of Dominator for the next rotation because they will know that is the reason why they won those games is because of that combo.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go for it. I mean, they're going to go for the stealth Finn. This Lam has actually done pretty decently. I mean, it's only been picked 3 times, but it's undefeated, right? So whoever picks it, they know what they're trying to do. They're going to go with it and just put more pressure onto, you know, the Haku matchup in that jungle.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see how they're going to be doing this, especially against Wild Rider. Stealth Finn is very good against Wild Rider because he has a lot of ways to reset his S2 from it, which is the reason why it's very, very good. But now, what are they going to be banning out? I think they're still giving them the opportunity to get the Magistrate here for the side of NONGSHIM and taking out a lot of the Clash Lane options for the other side.
Yeah, you want to attack Tufts as well. But yeah, there you go. The Magistrate. You were talking about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was talking about it because this is what worked before, and I think Dominator has their number. They know that this worked, so let's take it rather than just letting them get it for themselves. And now they just have to pivot on that Laurel Princess because they have nothing else.
I mean, they have others, let's be completely honest, but it seems like the Aaron or the Laurel Princess is really just kind of picked up in terms of popularity, I would say, the KIS4. They've had definitely a little bit more success with it, but you have to dive a little bit deeper, especially since there are only so many farm laners. But it looks like the Charlotte or the Rose Fencer is going to be the last pick for Dominator. Your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, and also really good against the Fire Ninja and the Stealth Finn too, especially whenever she uses her ultimate on the side of Laurel Princess. But the Rose Fencer is good, especially against the Martial Genius. We all know how she can just have damage reduction on point whenever Martial Genius casts exploit weakness against her. So she will be surviving the tussle, especially in the mid game.
And I think the Rose Fencer, I mean, just towards the end, the late game is kind of when she's going to really pop off and get on top of the Laurel Princess or the Evernight Aspiration. Those are very juicy targets, and that mobility will make it very tough for NONGSHIM REDFORCE to kind of deal with. But if we're going to give any of these two teams going into this one a slight advantage, who are you giving it to, Dash?
Yeah, for now, I do want to give it for the side of Dominator just because of the one, momentum from from the last time that we've seen them play, and two, this composition is just easier to pull off with what they have. On the other end, NONGSHIM REDFORCE needs to get the tempo on their side in order for them to get a lot of sieges going. So Dominator for me. How about you?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I was gonna make a joke about like, haha, you think that Dominator can only play simple lineups, but all jokes aside, I do think that if you play a simpler lineup, you know, when the team fights are happening and it's all chaotic, it comes back to simplicity, right? It's gonna make your life a lot easier. And I do agree with you. This lineup is very streamlined. It's very obvious what they want to do. NONGSHIM, on the other hand, definitely more complex. It has a higher ceiling, in my opinion, especially when you have like a Haya to kind of really set things up. But it really comes back to the execution.
Yeah, it's all going to be about how the Haya is going to be playing here for the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE, because she has a lot of targets that she can take, or she can take down easily, like the Mai Shiranui, the Fire Ninja, and the Magistrate. But if she takes down the Rose Fencer, it might be a problem.
Yeah, it definitely might be a problem. And also, you know, the LAM, the TNX special, you know, might be a bit of an issue too, right? Like, you need some sort of lockdown, and if you're looking at this one, they have lockdown, but you gotta make sure that, you know, he's within range. TNX can be very fast and mobile, could make things very tough for them.
Enemy minions will arrive in 5 seconds.
Very excited in how they're going to be doing this, because we're already heading into the game number 1 of today. It is Dominator versus NONGSHIM REDFORCE. This is the time for NONGSHIM REDFORCE to take out all the doubters out there and show us how it's done.
Yeah, and speaking of doubters, I mean, there's a lot of them that were kind of built up because they were expecting way more from NONGSHIM, and they didn't really show up in the groups. It seems like the roster shakeup has taken them a little bit more time to get to the next level, or the same level that they were at in 2025. So this has been a bit of a disappointing KIS thus far, but man, they could prove everyone wrong in this series here.
Yeah, this could be a great starting point too, right? For NONGSHIM REDFORCE, especially this is one of their tough still got it in the end. This is still like their starting point as a new team, and starting at the bottom is always going to be good, right? So if they surprise us today, it's just going to be an upwards graph for this team.
Yeah, but this is why game 1 is so important, because if they lose this, all of the haters and all that are just going to be like, NONGSHIM just doing NONGSHIM things. But if they're able to set the tone and really strike fear into Dominator and make them a little uncomfortable, especially since Dominator Esports are on their home turf, you know, anything that you can do to kind of, you know, break them out of their shell and make them uncomfortable, you're going to be having a good time.
Yeah, nowhere to go but up, right? Because if they lose, it was expected. But if they win, it is crazy. Because this is a team that dominated their group. So with this on their minds, I hope NONGSHIM REDFORCE will keep this in their hearts, because they need to wear it on times of need.
Yeah, and NONGSHIM also, this is one where they were selected, right? Dominator had first pick, and they thought that NONGSHIM were the weakest. That has got to hurt you. You got to be insulted. You got to have a chip on your shoulder and really just take the fight to them, because you know that there's going to be some bitterness. At least that's how I would think.
Yeah, me too, though. Because if they think that they can win easily against me, I'm not going to be happy about that. But you know what? This is going to be as expected, right? Because of what happened during their group. So, I mean, that is just them being honest. Dominator just being honest with things. They might be able to take them down easily, but we still are in like the first page of this story, of this series. So we still don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And not only of the series, of this matchup. I mean, no matter what. I mean, it sucks that one of these two teams actually is going to go home. But the other piece to this is that they need to use this experience to build off of that into the rest of 2026. There's a lot of games, a lot of potential. We're going to be seeing more of these two teams later in the year, and they need more of that leveling up more than anything else.
Yeah. Great stun coming in from the bottom lane, though. And Bridal Outburst just secured them the kill right down there at the bottom. I was just looking at the map, and that was just such a great stun from L.
Very quick, and this is the problem with the, you know, if you're NONGSHIM, is that Dominator Esports are going to be very fast. They can be on top of you in a second. I mean, with this Mai and the LAM, it's very, like, you blink and you might miss it.
Yeah, almost always the problem with Aaron, right? With Laurel Princess, you usually just have problems with survivability. Once you get stunned, you don't really have the same safety as the Magistrate. And right now, Haku is just trying to get some damage right out of Jurl. 20 seconds, no rage coming in from their side, and that stealth pin is going to be down out of the ultimate from Illusion, and that is 2 people on the board. NONGSHIM, REDFORCE are not backing down.
Yeah, that was a really good Moonscape Mirage. Locking in TNX, and it's so early where he doesn't really have those items. But the bottom lane, oh, he does go down.
Yeah, he does, and that's not good. Siri is down for the count in this fight, so might be having problems when it comes to the damage here. Gerald might go for a surprise. Might be the Kachu Sen, but not gonna kill anything.
Very obvious for Namu. He knew he was right there, so I mean, if anything, he was trying to body block the Kachusen as much as possible. Made it tough for Gerald to even attempt to go for that steal. But NONGSHIM had bounced back. That's kind of what we expected, right? But it started with Illusion's play, getting TNX locked down, and then the rest of the team were right on top. This is a lineup that's not as mobile, so when you're able to kind of send them into that Mirage and then move your way over there, it's going to be tough to fight because they like to team.
Yeah. Illusion, gonna be tough, and Bridal Outburst gets the stun, not even able to pop anything out of that. Again, another kill, easy kill because of L.
It almost seems very personal, but then bottom lane.
Yeah, that's gonna be a kill though, pretty easy from the side of NONGSHIM. They don't have any help from anybody. And with the middle, wait, everything's happening from across the map.
Yeah, they want everything. I mean, it was just like, okay, how dare you kill one person? And they take down all the kills throughout, and Haku is going to be further behind. And look at this. This is a problem because this opens up access for TNX to enter your jungle.
Yeah, TNX has been just going everywhere. The knockup's going to be coming in. Rattel with his Frightening Boost gets the shield. Still not going to survive. This duo has been raining hell on NONGSHIM REDFORCE Tufts. Right down at the bottom lane, Tremor Smash Up is gonna hit Siri. Doesn't have a lot of damage. Tough Z is just tanking it.
This Lamai combination, I mean, it's tough. They're so fast, they do a lot of damage, and it really sets the tone, right? I mean, you get a lot of the early game spike because the rest of NONGSHIM right now, not in fighting spirit.
Yeah, got the ult CC. Just gonna be using the Umbrella Outburst, misses. He still got the tower anyway, so it's still okay.
Yeah, as a John Cray player, I've done that many a time, so I know exactly how L is feeling right now. He's just like, don't put the camera on me, guys. That was bad.
That's all right. That's all right. I can still get it again for the next time. I will just be hitting on this jungle camp, so I get it back. He still has another try now. A ton of tries.
I mean, yeah, ton of tries. I think that we're definitely, this is not the end of L. He will get that redemption story. He'll hit at least one good one at least this game. I
probably heard you.
But man, I've been there. I mean, if they were able to get Haku, that would have been an absolute disaster for NONGSHIM. But now, this is a bit of a problem, right? It gets to the point where they can slow siege in the top lane.
You know what? He probably heard you, and he's just gonna be redeeming himself from this. They used the ultimate again. They're down right inside, but remember, there is L waiting for the Unbridled Outburst for the timing right here onto the backline. They got the kill already. Still going good for the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE. They got 2 on the board, and I think Tupsy is not gonna survive his 2-3 kills on the board right now, and that's Siri going mad at the back, and that's an ace coming in from NONGSHIM REDFORCE.
Double kill.
NONGSHIM came in a hurry. I mean, it's set up by Illusion. You actually lock down Gerald. Where are you gonna go? You're stuck in the Mirage. You have to fight me. Illusion is more than willing to take that. Gerald was trying to dash around, trying to just stay alive, but it was too much Illusion in the end, and that set things up for the rest of them to then focus on the TNX as we get into this replay. I mean, they tried to dive. That is a big dive. I mean, the mid T2 had been taken down, but with that Tremor Sash, they knock down TNX. They get the control. That's the perfect way to set things up, and then it's pretty much all she wrote, and all these dominoes crumble as Dominate Esports get wiped out.
Yeah, because of that win that they got from there, they had a 1k gold lead, and that just turned things around here. For NONGSHIM REDFORCE, they have been losing most of the fights, but now this time, because of that just one win, they have a fighting chance for this next Tyrant fight.
I mean, they got a team ace, but they're only up about 600 gold, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Dominator, because they have the outside towers. They've taken the mid T2 away. That's been the name of the game, is that they can be aggressive, but not in the bottom lane.
No. Tionex, RuneScape Mirage has been used. Is he gonna survive? I do think he's gonna win. Just looking at the bottom left camera, he actually won the fight, and that's good. Right now, they're gonna go for the chase down because he tried to help out Illusion out of that ultimate. And now they're gonna be going out of the way. They are just trying to spread out. But right now, they were able to back off.
Yeah, Illusion, actually, oh, they're continuing on.
Yeah, Tubsy gonna continue. Had to use a flash away because he used his ultimate by himself, and now they are just gonna be taking this Tyrant. No Tionex on site, but there's also no Haku in the area.
Tyrant has been defeated.
I think they're going to be happy with that. I mean, yes, Illusion trades his life away for TNX, but in the end, that's probably the trade that you're looking for. I mean, it sucks for Illusion, who's like, why did I Mirage him, right? Why am I sucking with this guy who's going to end up killing me? But in the end, it was definitely worth it because you want to take him down as quickly as possible.
He's one of the hard targets, right? Whenever you use the RuneScape Mirage, you think about the targets that you go for. Tufts and Tionex are not the best targets because they can destroy you inside the RuneScape Mirage.
Yeah, and also they have enough mobility so that Illusion shots the skill shots are a little bit tougher, right? So those are not really prime targets, but it was more of a, okay, I'm sacrificing myself. I know that this is probably not, I'm not going to be surviving, but at least TNX will be killed in return, and that's how they paid it off. So I think that in the end, that's ideally where they want to go, understanding that as long as Rattel, Haku, with Siri aren't really dying, they have a really good chance of this one.
Yeah, trying to force it on L. 3 seconds, we have the Tyrant. Everybody's in position on the side of NONGSHIM. REDFORCE already on that Tyrant. They're going fast. They're already on half HP. L just making sure that they have a pathway inside, and Bridal Outburst is going to be hitting onto the back line. Still not going to be able to kill, and that is still not going to anybody for now, but they're still getting kills anyway. NONGSHIM REDFORCE are losing their members, and that fight just went to the side of Dominator, just out of that start and that pathway from L.
I mean, the fact that Haku was still alive, he did get the kill on the TNX, so there's a silver lining of all things. But they lost the Tyrant, they lost 3 of their members as well. Not a great trade for NONGSHIM right there. Dominated Esports really putting the fight to them. They have some serious team fight capabilities, especially with that Umbrella Outburst. Plus, CC was left untouched. He'll happily do all that damage from the back.
Yeah, and L was just walking in front of everybody, and nobody was touching him. Everybody wants to go to the back line, but one thing that worked towards the victory here of Dominator was they were able to divide the fight in 2 because of that Unbridled Outburst.
Yeah, and because of that, like that one team fight, it looked very good for Dominator, and they grown this lead to about 3.3K. That's exactly how you want to go, but now they're potentially looking to jump in here. No, they're not going to actually go, but man, they've taken over the enemy jungle.
Yeah, they're trying to go for the Overlord here, just trying to position themselves on where they know that NONGSHIM REDFORCE could go because they lost the objective. They want to get an objective for themselves, and maybe they can try, but they are just afraid of the fact that they can go for double. Yeah, there you go. As I'm saying, a double objective because they have the Tyrant, but here it comes. The Primal Bond is going to be going down.
Yeah, I mean, it's perfectly timed, right? It's going to be a little bit slower, but in like 2 seconds, it's gone, and that's going to expedite their speed in terms of this takedown. So they've taken all of the big neutrals, but it kind of goes back to the NONGSHIM, playstyle thus far, is that, yeah, they've gotten some kills. They got that team ace, but they didn't really convert it into towers. And that's the hard net work and that huge shift in favor of Dominator because they have taken this towers.
Yeah, I thought out of that one ace that things are going to be turning around, but right now it's going still in favor of Dominator. They want to go for the end here. They can't even clear the wave. One more on the mid lane. The tower is going to go down because CC is just going to be taking it out from far away.
Yeah, and this is the problem. They don't really need the creeps to really make that push because you have CC's outrange. I mean, his 3rd shot will get that, chip damage, and now you have the Vanguard. This is going to be so much tougher for them to hold.
They can't even clear, and Bridal Outburst got 3, and now they're going to go into the back line, though. They're going to target Illusion. They don't have the ult, and that's a kill on the board already. They're starting to make sure that they're going to be slowing it down. There's the knockup coming in from L, but the towers, the crystal is going to fall, and that's Dominator taking game 1.
Yeah, that's a clean game by Dominator in terms of just being able to overcome some of that adversity. You knew NONGSHIM were going to fight, right? And going into this one, you're kind of thinking, Dominator, they should be definitely way higher, but they never really lost that net worth lead. They stuck to their plan of just being able to play the long game. They knew they had enough damage, and once they make that jump, they just cleaned house at that point.
Yeah, and one thing that I loved about Dominator, even through the ace that happened during that game, they were really looking for that T2 in the mid lane. Once they got that T2 in the mid lane, that opened up a lot of things for Dominator, which is why NONGSHIM REDFORCE had a hard time just moving past their own jungle.
Yeah, they had a tough time. And this is, again, one of those things where, like, again, it's about those kills. You're thinking it looks early, things are looking good for NONGSHIM, but in the end, if you're not taking down those towers, you don't have any space to farm, and Dominator will take advantage of that, and they will put the pressure on and just choke you out, so to speak.
Yeah, it was really hard for NONGSHIM REDFORCE to do anything out of that, and that's also one of their best compositions though. Playing around Haku's Wild Rider and not winning out of that is such a big blow. And we talked about how it is important for them to win game 1. But now, because they lost it, Dominator could just run them down with this momentum that they have.
Well, the Agudo, the Wild Rider, is definitely a key one, something that kind of opens things up for now TNX is maybe Ogren later on down the road, but they still went with like the air the highest. The Haya, in my opinion, is it's a power pick, but it's just not amazing in the hands of Illusion. So this game 1 to me is like a tester, right? Where are we?
Yeah.
We're not picking all of our meta heroes. We still have a decent number. They can still fight the good fight come, later in the series.
Yeah, what's really hard about picking up a Haya on that part of the game, it's especially with the composition that they built, it's not really that good. I think they needed something a bit more supportive for the Eren. Siri had a hard time going forward because there was not really a big wall. Yes, there was Namu, but there was not enough of that for an Eren to move forward.
Yeah, and also because of the fact that if you're looking at the Dominator lineup, you have the Mai and the Lam, they're the ones that dictate the pace, right? In terms of the initiations, the jump in. They're able to provide all that vision because they can get on out if they want. And they always had the jump. NONGSHIM had no forward scout other than Namu, who's kind of on the slower end. He's like the only guy by himself. He is also vulnerable as well. But if we're looking at some of these stats, I mean, Siri was doing what he could. I mean, he's got 5 kills and 89,000 damage, but the rest of the team really needed to have helped as well.
Yeah, it was really hard for them, especially with the picks here coming in from Dominator Esports. Everybody had this forward motion. Every time a fight has been started by L, everybody could just jump forward from long distances. And Illusion and Siri were just, even Haku were just prime targets for them to latch on.
Yeah, it didn't seem like Haku was even tanky enough to survive any of those things. Then where was the Tremor Smash that was like the perfect counter initiation when Haku gets jumped on? And it becomes back to the initiations of Dominator plus their spacing where they weren't really grouped up and making it very easy for NONGSHIM REDFORCE to take those fights. But the gold graph, I mean, this is exactly how we saw it, right? NONGSHIM had their moments, especially around the 7-minute mark or so, but the rest of this game was in favor of Dominator as they did have control of it.
Yeah, that's the only time that is the time when they got the ace. That is the time that they only got like a bit of a lead. Then it was just going down from there. It was Dominator just taking over that time, but it was still a nice try for NONGSHIM REDFORCE, especially for this first game that they had. Dominator just were really good at just playing around the loss that they got from that ace.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're looking at this head-to-head comparison, Tuff's just out, damaging, outlast hitting. I mean, he was doing everything, right? And this is kind of what you want from like a Charlotte, the Rose Fencer, right? And Tuff Z just kind of got the better of Rattel, who never really got those perfect, get seriouses like the wombo combos that you're looking for, because again, positioning and vision was key for Dominator.
Yeah, and understanding that they had to finish this pretty early with the composition they built here for the side of Dominator is very important, because they know that once you let the Wild Rider, the Eren, get the items that they need, add to that the Haya that they have, it's going to be very scary. And finishing that at that point was also a right choice for Dominator.
Yeah, definitely the right choice there. And I mean, if we're looking at Illusion, he looked kind of all right with Haya. He did have some good Moonlight Mirages where he was able to kind of isolate TNX as well, in that mid lane with Jurl. Like, he had those moments, but it just seems like he fell off, right? There was a time where the net worth was just completely in favor of Dominator, where they're able to just outclass you lane by lane.
Now it's gonna be a thinker here for NONGSHIM REDFORCE. What are they gonna be doing for the next game after that loss? It was okay picks that we've had from them. It is still very much changeable from game 2 onwards, because take a look at this. Who's gonna be getting the MVP? Let's go, because we have seen it again and again. L with his engages for the team has been leading way.
Yeah, really good. The umbrella outburst. I mean, he missed one, and that was the one we kind of made fun of. That was the one that made fun of you was Dash Cast. You can find him online.
No.
The rest of them. I mean, Jagfei, he was setting it up for when those NONGSHIM guys were like grouped up. His unbridled outbursts were on point, and he was able to control the battlefield, and it makes it very easy for Jurl and TNX to just clean house.
And we're seeing some fighting spirit right here from NONGSHIM REDFORCE, right? They were fighting pretty well at some points in the game, but in the early stages, Jurl and TNX were just so good at just holding on for long here. But this was the time that they got their win here, because most of them were divided on the side of Dominator. That's why NONGSHIM REDFORCE just stuck together, because they know that they will be winning that fight if they stuck together.
And this is actually where they got that ace. Things looked very good, but they weren't able to convert that into more. And this is that turnaround where they get scattered throughout. The Tyrant, they're like, are we focusing on it? Plus, then the Tyrant, he actually get leashed. So it made it even worse for NONGSHIM, who were trying to go all in to take out that Tyrant. Just the timing a little unfortunate for them, as Dominator made them pay for even trying to threaten.
And that was the biggest loss that they had here for NONGSHIM REDFORCE, was that Tyrant. I thought that could have been their chance to win, chance to turn around, but because it reset it at the right time, it was just an ender for the team. And you can see here, Dominator just got the win, and NONGSHIM still nice performance still during that game.
I mean, it was a good performance. I mean, it's something that we could build off. It wasn't a complete shellacking by NONGSHIM.